But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Candy Shop. I am Candace, and this is The Candy Shop channel. This is Trigger Tuesday. So I want to talk about some hot topics today. If you see me look up, I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to talk about? But earlier I went live and we talked a little bit about Kyrie Irving. We talked about Kanye a very little, and we talked about Tia Mowry. But I did want to touch more on the Kyrie Irving situation because I wasn't too familiar with it. I know he posted up a video that was anti-Semitic. When I read more into it, the video that he posted that was a documentary on Amazon was trying to say that the Holocaust didn't exist. So with him posting that is very interesting and serious. If you catch my drift, I wanted to talk about it with some people. Hey, so Debonair, thank you for joining. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it and talk. This morning, we had a really good discussion on my morning drive to work. So I wanted to continue that discussion because it was getting good with Kyrie, with what Kyrie did. Hey, Sharon, good to see you. Okay, so Deb, I'll be waiting on you. And I want to talk a little bit about Tia Mowry as well. But with what Kyrie Irving did, that it is unacceptable for him to do that. I'm on the fence though about his punishment. I think the punishment is too harsh, if you ask me. Let me take a sip of my drink. But how is everybody doing out there? I hope you all voted. I voted today. The election isn't quite going how I wanted it to go for Georgia. I am Team Stacey Abrams and Raphael Warnock. So it's going well for him, but Stacey Abrams, no. He's problematic. Yes, I agree, Sharon. I think because I've heard a lot about Kyrie Irving's name lately with wanting to, he just seems very outspoken. And I feel like him posting that documentary was very unnecessary. It's very disrespectful to that community. So those are my thoughts on that. I think he should not have done it, if you ask me. But while we wait for So Debonair to get in here or get up here. Did Sharon, did you vote? Did everybody out there vote? I know this is gonna be, I might make it a long live because we're just chopping it up. This is kind of a live about nothing. I wasn't gonna spend the whole time talking about Kyrie Irving, but I wanted to open with that because I feel a lot of times as Black people, we take on it's like we don't want to associate ourselves with Africa, but we think of all these other things that associate ourselves with, and no disrespect to the Black Hebrews and the Black Israelites and all these other groups, but I want us to remember Africa in that equation. Yes. Oh, good. I didn't know you were in Ohio. Good, Sharon. Hey, Red Label. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for hitting that like button. Did you vote, Red Label? Q. But we're just chopping it up. I'm waiting for some more people to get in here. I don't think a lot of people will come because I haven't been going live a lot at all. But I want to discuss some things. Come on, So Deb. Come on, Nola. Let me drop the link. Red Label, if you want to get up here, you can. But I'm talking somewhat about Kyrie Irving and his thoughts. I did want to talk a little bit about Kanye. Yeah, I know you voted Red Label. And I wanted to talk about Tia Mowry as well. This morning, I talked about how impressive channel. She did a video on Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick and their relationship. And Tia liked a post from somebody that was talking about paying bills. And it was implied that Corey didn't always pay bills. And so from what I gathered from that, seeing that, I feel like the divorce was due to her, like a built up resentment towards Corey Hardrick. She met him while he was on the bus stop. So in the beginning, she was taking care of him, and the relationship didn't quite pan out how she wanted it to pan out. And I think that's why they broke up. She built resentment. I can speak for myself in my own relationship. I'm gonna be a little bit transparent. I don't care who wants to come for me with what I say. I don't think anybody will come for me because I don't think I'm that important. But in this current marriage, when I started dating my husband was working. His job to me was more important than the job that I had. So I quit my job in Texas and moved here to Georgia to live with him. And he was the breadwinner. And his job, he spent a lot of times. He spent a lot of time at work. He works in the industry where he has to be there on holidays. Holidays are the blackout time, and he runs several locations of a particular place. And so throughout our marriage, there have been times where I've been pissed off at him that he has to work, even though I knew what I was signing up for before we got married. It at times has strained our relationship, but not enough for me to divorce him, because he took care of me from the beginning. But unlike Corey Hardrick, I ended up getting a job as well. So I contribute to the household. Like Eddie Murphy said, here's my $1 for the household. But no, I contribute more than $1. But yes, I know you voted. Corey is broke. Right. I'm gonna get to some of these comments. Hey, Deb, leaving soon at a political party. Okay. And Sharon said Tia was basically the breadwinner, wasn't she? Yeah, she was the breadwinner throughout the relationship. And so when you spend your time constantly taking care of somebody and you expect them to one day step up and be the man that you like, as women, we're taught that men will take care of us. So when he never does that, I'm sure she had resentment towards him. And I know that people are putting out that he is possibly bisexual. I don't want to put out something like that about him if it's not true. If it has not come out of his mouth, I'm not going to put that out there. I'm not one of those content creators that always jumps on the hot topic, because a lot of times some of it, like, it's not vetted and it's not right. And I would hate to put something like that out about somebody and it's not true. So most of the time I'm going to go by what the person themselves is saying in that event. And so from what I gather, based off of what Tia has said, this man they just weren't they were unequally yoked. The Hollywood life is no guarantee. Right. And hey, Nola Reeds, I sent you the link, you and So Debonair, so we can chit chat about some things, Miss Nola. And when you messaged me, I was out at a work function. And when I responded late to Nola. When I responded, I was finally in my car. But yeah, so anybody that wants to join, did I drop the link? I'm dropping the link now. I want to chit chat. I want to chop it up. I want to talk election. I want to talk some things. It's been a minute since I've been on my page at night. So I want to get into some conversation about a couple of things. With the elections, I hope everybody voted. These elections do matter, especially the elections every 2 years that come up. Okay. All right, cool. No, I'll be waiting. But with these elections that come up, like, we're voting on House bills, a lot of different things that affect where you live. So to me, this election at times is more important than the presidential election, because these local elections are what really shape how your neighborhood, how your community lives. And so I know people, they don't trust the Democratic Party, they don't trust the Republican Party, but it's just, you got to vote for the lesser of the two devils, whatever is going to align with what works for you. Oh, thank you, Red Label. I'll see you later. Hey, the Real Lovely C. Shout out to the Real Lovely C. Make sure you guys subscribe to her. The Real Lovely C. I saw your live where you interviewed that person from the reality show. What is it? Because I stopped watching it. We used to review it. Um, oh, what is the name of that show? I have to look at the banner. So I made a banner for us. I deleted it. But she interviewed somebody from the reality show on about dating. I cannot remember the name. Put the name in the chat, real lovely, see if you remember. But I was watching, so she's making some moves. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, thank you. And hey, Neva Smith. Good to see you. Yes, Ready to Love. I don't know why I forgot it. Lovely C, I have not watched Ready to Love since we reviewed it, like almost a year now. Me and Lovely C started reviewing Ready to Love, and I think she started watching it at the time we reviewed it, and it's taken off for her. So she was able to connect with somebody on the current season and interview them. So make sure you check her channel out. Also subscribe to her channel as well. But yes, but going back to the elections, make sure you guys always vote in your elections. Going back to Kyrie Irving, can y'all tell me what are some of y'all thoughts on that? Because I feel like it was unnecessary for him to do, but I think the punishment was very harsh. And to say that the Holocaust, I don't know if he's supporting something. You're welcome, Lovely C. I don't know if he's necessarily supporting. Let me see if I can pull up the actual tweet, or I know it's probably gone. But this will give me some time. Let me put on my glasses so I can see. This will give me some time to review things. Since I'm taking my time today, I might go longer than an hour. But let me see what this man said. Kyrie Irving. What to know about the anti-Semitic post. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm about to share my screen, so there. Let me see. So what to know about Kyrie Irving and his anti-Semitic movie post in the fallout. Oops. My dang thing showing my name. Y'all done seen my name now. Um, but it says Nets guard Kyrie Irving will meet with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver on November 8th as he continues to face backlash for posting a link on Twitter to an anti-Semitic film last month. The meeting was reported earlier by Mark Stein in the Boston Globe and confirmed to the New York Times by a person familiar with the meeting but not authorized to discuss it publicly. For a week after Irving posted the link to the film, he declined to apologize or say that he held no anti-Semitic beliefs, prompting the Nets on November 3rd to suspend him indefinitely. He has since apologized, but the fallout continues. On November 4th, Nike condemned hate and anti-Semitism and suspended its relationship with Irving effective immediately. Irving, a seven-time NBA All-Star, has been with the Nets since 2019. He won a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016, but over the past few years, he has often been discussed more for his off-court views. In a 2018 interview with the New York Times, he suggested that the Earth might be flat, and over the past year, he had refused to be vaccinated against coronavirus. Coronavirus, excuse me. I thought of Cardi B. Oh, Nola, you are here. Hey, Nola.
Hey girl. You know how it be when you
Yeah.
first get to work, you gotta make sure you reading all them emails.
Yes.
And normally I get up, but as you know, we've been talking all day, so I had not been to sleep from the night before, prior to me picking up my children. So now, when I picked them up this evening, girl, I had done went to sleep, child. I woke up 5 minutes before it was time for me to clock in, so I didn't get a chance to read like I normally would
Well,
my
I'm
emails and see what's going on.
I'm glad you're here. So with Kyrie Irving, though, what do you think? So he put up the documentary, which basically talks about the Holocaust did not exist, is what I've seen. And then after he put it up, when he was asked to apologize, he didn't initially apologize, and he didn't say anything.
So did he indeed state that the Holocaust don't exist?
The documentary states that.
The Hey Neva, the documentary states that. So from my understanding of everything I read and saw, Kyrie Irving watched it. He shared the link and said it was interesting.
Yeah.
Not that he believed it, It was interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't agree with the punishment. I
Yeah.
absolutely don't. I don't think he should be criticized because we're mad at him for sharing a link and saying it was interesting, right? But we're not mad at Amazon for streaming it
Right.
because they're streaming it for several people to see. Number one. Number two, I can say something is interesting because I find it interesting. It's people who watch stories about the Knights Templars and they think it's interesting. Not necessarily that they believe everything that happens in it, but they think it's interesting. I, for one, watched all the Nostradamus documentaries, right? So if I
Mm-hmm.
share that and say it's interesting, it just means it caught my attention the way it was put out there, right? He never confirmed nor denied he had the beliefs or whatever. So, no, I think being bullied into apologizing for saying something caught my attention and it's interesting, that's a problem for me, number one. Number two, where the hell is our apologies? Because right now, you have, what's his name in Florida? DeSantis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did all of this stuff about CRT. And for those who don't know what CRT is, that's critical race theory and how they're pushing the agenda of CRT in our elementary schools and things like that.
Mhm.
CRT is, in fact, a first level law school class. It's not being taught anywhere in the elementary, middle school, or high school education. And now he's passed the law that if you're teaching anything about slavery or anything like that, and the YT students feel some type of way, you can lose your job. There are laws trying to be passed to remove to where, oh, because when we teach about that part of history, okay, it's making the young YT people, the young tan people, the young clear people feel a certain type of way, and we're punishing them for their ancestors. So we can't teach that anymore. So we can erase your up ancestry history because y'all don't want to deal with the fact y'all was grape juicers, unalivers, thieves, and everything else. The same thing y'all want to blame us for and label us as is what the hell your ancestors built this country on.
And not even to mention that our jail system is still based off of that. So, like, if we're mad, if we're upset that the white people are upset about Black history, we still are living in those days now. Like, our jail system is built off of that. I believe someone said that slavery is still legal somewhere. I seen that about voting when I went to vote over
Louisiana.
there.
Mm-hmm.
In
Yes.
Louisiana, it's still a present law on the books. I love New
Well,
Orleans. The
my
state is
point is,
cracking.
I'm not about to sit here and be sad about your YT tears, because of because they're teaching you about how your ancestors treated Black people. It's a reality, and we still live in a space where we're not safe as Black people till this day. Um, we literally have no rights, to be honest. I mean, we can vote, but most of the time it doesn't really protect us from anything that is happening here. That's why it was so important to vote in
Come on,
Atlanta
Georgia.
now,
What are y'all
because
doing? Oh, I'm
it's
so sorry.
Georgia.
I got CNN on the background and they show Kemp leading Abrams.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is my kind of
This
stuff.
is like
Like election night, my TV been on CNN since this morning. I'm sorry, Deb. I'm
it's a
so sorry.
repeat of like
You're
four
good.
years ago. Wasn't it 4 years ago when she
Where
ran?
he cheated,
Yeah,
where
Yeah.
he cheated.
yeah.
Now we want to talk about. I'll get to that when we talk about the political
No,
part.
we can go wherever the
Um,
conversation
no,
leads us.
but I wasn't. But because I try to stay on focus.
Yeah.
But with Kyrie Irving, it's just I am tired of us having to apologize because we like something or
Mhm.
because we support something. But you can treat you
Or you question something.
or right or you question something.
Yeah,
It's crazy to me. And
Mhm.
don't how can I say this? Don't get me
but you
wrong.
understand
The
what I'm saying. So,
Holocaust happened and it was
right,
horrible.
right.
It was horrible. It did not happen here in America, but it was horrible. But guess what? Slavery happened right here. This country, and we get disrespected so bad. But things that happen to other people in other countries, they come here and they get more respect. And
Hmm.
we can't even speak on it. Not saying that unaliving anybody is right. Not saying that no form of racism is right. Not saying that no form of treating someone differently because of their race, their ethnicity, their skin tone is correct. But we had slavery here. We still have social injustices here towards us.
Mm-hmm.
It only
But
took a few Asian people to get killed before there was an Asian hate bill.
come on,
We
talk about
still
it.
don't have
Talk
one.
about it. Talk about
We
it.
still don't have one. There
Yeah.
are better laws to protect dogs, cats, and animals
Come on.
than to protect us. And this is why I tell people to vote. You know what? I had to vote for a proposition today, yes or no, for $40 million to fix levees here in Houston so that the dogs and the animals can walk. Nothing about prison reform.
Yeah. You,
Nothing about helping low poverty stricken areas and communities. Nothing about doing extra activities that will expand those kids' minds in the form of after school programs because a lot of their parents are still working in their latchkey kids. Nothing about that. About 40 million for some dogs. Well, we all know how I voted for that. And listen, please don't think I'm not a pet. Please don't think I'm not a pet lover. I don't have any pets because I have kids and child. When I found out dogs can get cancer and all of this other stuff, and I gotta have insurance on the pet too, it's just a bit too much for me. My pockets ain't there yet to be able to afford the extras because my children gonna be crying. Because if little Chico gotta get chemo as a dog, little Chico gonna just have to go on to all dogs go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, we have so many other things that's lacking. But you can say anything you want about us, but the
Mhm.
minute, the second, the hour we think it, oh my God, we gotta apologize and we losing everything. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And for him to lose endorsements because this one set of people who not even from here, who didn't even build this bitch, excuse me, they can get their panties in the tizzy and you can't say nothing about them. But the people who built this bitch, it was built on our back. When you look at culture and the way it's going right now, it is built on everything that is us. And we got to always kiss somebody else. I am tired.
yeah. That's the one thing I agree with. I do think the punishment was too harsh, but I don't agree
Now, what
with.
was his punishment? I don't know.
He
Not
was suspended
personally.
from the NBA indefinitely, and
Mhm.
they've asked him. This is the thing that gets me. All these little demands that they have for him in order
Mhm.
for him to live as a regular citizen is what is getting me. Now, I don't agree with his comment. I don't think he should have posted that, but I also don't think he should have been punished the way that he was punished.
But all he posted that was interesting, or that was it was like something that he had questions about.
Um, I don't know what he was trying to do, but I would feel very offended if
Well,
some
what was his post though? Like, what did he post?
he posted a documentary about, I believe, was it about Black Hebrews? I have to see, but basically it was a documentary saying that the Holocaust didn't exist
Mm-hmm.
and some other things that was insensitive to the Jewish plight. It was
Mm-hmm.
anti-Semitic, and so he put interesting. I would be offended if somebody that was on a high profile put up something saying that slavery didn't exist, because
What was the documentary
let me
called?
finish talking. Let me finish talking really quick.
No, I
So
was asking what was the documentary called though?
it's on
Do you know?
Amazon. I have to look it up.
Okay,
But
Give
and
me
I
a
okay.
said,
second. I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead, me.
And the only reason I was asking that because I know you had just commented on it, and I was like, let me just watch it
yeah.
because
But
to me, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
Go.
guess I was gonna say the reason why it would piss me off that somebody said slavery didn't exist, because it was so harsh. People try to diminish it all the time, and
Yeah.
with the Holocaust, that is diminishing that. So it would, for me, it would be the same thing. My thing is, as Black people, we do need to come together a lot more, because we are so quick to jump on the bandwagon of other people's stuff instead of our own. And then when you do say something, you get Black people. This is my thing, because there are bougie Black people that be like my husband's a little bougie. He'll be like, why are you still talking about this? Why we need, if we're ever gonna get over anything, we need to forget it. No, you cannot forget. The moment you forget is I feel like the moment you get off track and you don't remember your true purpose of why we need to do it. So that's my thought on that. I know I talked really, really quick. And hey, Bamboo, she said then Shaq should have been punished too. He showed the documentary in his theaters when it was released. Yeah. So
I think, and I've always said this on every radio show I've had, everything. I think when it comes to Black people, like we have to have a conversation as Black people.
yeah.
Because we do not support anything. I was just over on Nosy channel before this, and she was talking about how the LGBT comes together and why things get done, because she was talking about the baby. And I'm like, the reason why is because we are so broken as Black people when it comes down to just supporting each other. And I know that I used to blame it on the Willie Lynch law until I realized that it wasn't real. But there's so much separation when it comes to us as Black people, as men, as women, as different skin tones, as different hair textures. You know, we whatever happened in slavery that we were not present for, we have to figure out how to come together as Black people. Period.
Yeah. And it's a thing. Oh, not to cut you off. It's a thing of trust. Yeah. And for some reason, like I just think of like my mother-in-law, different people.
Well, let me finish my thought before I forget to even remember what I was saying. But I feel like we have to, because it's not a issue of us not really even being able to have rights or whatever. It's the fact that when we do try to come together as Black people to have rights, we are in a disagreement with each other depending on where you sit on the totem pole when it comes to being Black. And I think this is why, you know, if you guys ever watch me in Busy talk about Potomac, and the issue of colorism comes up, I hate that conversation, because every skin tone has their own plate, and we can't sit with, like, it's too much for us to try to decipher, you know, who's right and who's wrong. Because yes, during slavery, those times it meant things, but right now in 2022, it doesn't. We all are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to different races of everybody.
But the thing is, though, go ahead. Now
my last point was, like, we have to figure out as Black people how to stop beating each other up, to support each other, to get something done.
But and I was gonna say this to your point, and it's not even to disagree, but it's definitely, I want to have a discussion with colorism. To me, there are different shades that have had harsher treatment. Darker skinned people get treated harshly. And so I think the main thing that we need to do, first of all, is to truly understand and hear each other out. When you go back to movies and books like The Color Purple, there was issues of colorism, sexism. Like, it was a lot going on. And that book was about how, as women in our own community, we're seen as a lesser person and not even human. Celi's character is supposed to be looked at as not human. So when we can recognize the true issues in our community, I think that's when we can all come together and move. The problem is, even though we are the Black community, we are all very different. And I think that's a problem that people have. We're not all the same. So we're going to have to come together and think of a common goal. But because we have to recognize we are not all the same.
We're not all the same, but we are all Black. And
we don't have the same fight. I can agree with that.
Right. And that's my biggest point. I feel like I'm getting emotional by even talking about this. I really almost got the tears for a second. The reason why I say that is because, like, let's have our own disagreements in our community, but still let's fight together. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a Black community, we miss that, because we can't even get out of our own battles with each other, that we can fight everybody else. Like, whatever happened during slavery, it really effed us up as Black people, because we cannot, for whatever reason, we cannot be on one accord. You see other races that do all the time. Even with, I'll forget the other races. Let's just talk about the LGBT. Like, I see them get it done. You know what I'm saying? Look at how the Asian people just literally, they said something, and then they have a whole thing now where they are protected. But we cannot even come together because we fight each other. And to me, it's like, okay, you know, we have our older people, but like, we weren't in that time. And, you know, I do see the discrimination against the different skin tones, but can we just put that to the side for a minute as Black people and say, listen, this fight is bigger than what skin tone that you are, or a man or whatever it is, and just say like, we need to come together and get this done and do it. Because that's, to me, that's what the Black Lives Matter thing was. I literally had to sit and say, you know what? This is not about Black Lives Mattering. This is about police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about Black lives really mattering unless you were a police officer, because we were still out here doing the same things or whatever. We still were discriminating against each other. And I'm not saying that one fight is more important than the other, but what I'm saying is that we can win the fight if this one side just comes together and says, you know what? We all suffer through this. So as Black people, it doesn't matter what shade you are, what sex you are, what sexuality that you are, but as Black people, we need to put our differences to the side and come together and fight this battle together.
Yes. Nola, do you want to say something, or you?
Yes. So I was just waiting for y'all to finish. So the movie that he shared the link to.
Oh, hey, Chris Maxwell. I'm sorry to see that.
Oh, that's okay. Hebrews to Negroes.
Mhm.
That's the movie. So I have not seen the movie. I'm gonna just be honest, but honestly, this is making me want to go watch it.
I'm
Okay,
gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch it, and I'm probably gonna talk about it.
We should go watch it and
But
like
I
talk
know
about it.
it's about Black people being the original Hebrews.
Mhm.
Like I said, I
So
have my thoughts on that as well. But
so
we
but
definitely.
but
Go ahead, Nola, because
okay. So
I'm about to go on
I'm
the
sorry, Candy girl. You know I love you. You my YouTube sister-in-law.
Mhm,
table.
But I'm gonna have to disagree that he was wrong.
Okay.
mhm,
Okay, because why can't he share something that was interesting to him?
Hmm.
He didn't make the movie. He didn't
Right.
act in the movie. He didn't play in the movie. He made no money off the movie. Even
mhm,
sharing it, he don't make no money.
Right.
And all he said was it was interesting. He didn't even confirm or deny
right.
whether he felt like Black people were the original Hebrews, Jews. None of that. All he did was share a link to the movie.
He said it
Mhm.
was
You have
interesting.
people who share way worse. You know what I'm saying?
Facebook blocked me off of
You
some
you
stuff
you have
that I
people who
said.
share way worse. So what happens to all the famous people who tweeted about and shared the Jeffrey Dahmer movie?
What happened to
That
the
was
people who
horrible.
shared
They're
Nola?
not losing
Nola. What about the people who
contracts.
shared who believe what Trump said about grabbing women by the?
Damn, can
I'm
let
with
me.
you.
I
I'm with you on
want to
this.
hear Nola's point.
No. She's right though. Like,
Yeah.
You know what
she's
I'm
right. Go
saying?
ahead. I'm just saying.
You
I
have
would just
you
add to what
have
she was saying.
you have celebrities. Speaking of the dump,
Hmm.
trying to run in 2024. You have celebrities and people of higher stature who supports him, who tweets out his bullshit rhetoric, right? And they lose nothing. And he openly mocked the disabled person. He openly mocked a disabled person. He openly told people at rallies to go fight this person, get them out of here, for people to drag people who didn't agree with him out of here. He literally was a sitting president that staged a coup and took documents
Hmm.
Yes.
that did not belong to him, that belonged to the country.
Hmm.
Yes. I
Took
will
these
say.
documents and then had the nerve to want to hold them to the point where the U.S. government had to get a search warrant to go retrieve those documents. And you have people who still to this day support him, famous people and all.
Hmm.
Yes, I will say this.
Famous people and all, where he did everything he could to destroy this country, but no apology. They still have their contracts, they still have everything. So you can support what is a very much known lie.
Yep.
Yeah, Nola, let me say this, and I'm gonna let you continue. I 100% agree with you. What I want to do is I want all of us three to watch the movie, and this will be a part two. But I'm gonna let you
Absolutely. I'm
finish.
down
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
it.
let you finish, Nola, because I agree with what you're saying.
You look good today, boo.
Thank you, Bill.
And I'm gonna come on camera, y'all, as soon as I'm doing some check-in stuff like I normally do, and I can't have my camera on while I'm dealing with
Red is definitely like like that maroon is definitely your color.
with
Thank
with
It
certain
matches your
stuff at
lipstick and
work.
everything. I love it.
Okay, no, look at so
But
I'm
damn.
sorry.
He's
I
just
want to compliment my YouTube wife, y'all.
loving on me. But no, I think this is a good discussion. I
I just think it's crazy that we always have to apologize when we
yeah,
Yes,
share our
yes,
opinions, thoughts, and hurts. If we don't
yes.
apologize, we lose everything.
which is so crazy to
But
me. No,
others can
I
do
agree.
other stuff, and I'm not even speaking towards us. They can do some other crazy, foolish stuff,
Yeah,
No, I
and
agree.
nothing happens. They don't have to apologize. They don't have to say a damn thing. They can openly sit out
mhm.
here, do something that affects somebody. It causes them harm mentally
Mhm.
or
I
physically
think about
sometimes.
even
And,
noticing
and it's
about.
and it's oh, they made a mistake. I am so sick of it. I'm
I
sick of
never.
it.
I'm
I
not
am
saying
sick
I'm not
of the
saying.
double standard.
Thank you, Neva.
I
No,
think about sometimes too, even thinking about like when you talking about the animals and stuff. Like I went on this whole thing for Blackfish. I don't know if y'all ever seen it, but it's about killer whales at SeaWorld.
mhm.
And the way that they were so pro these whales, and I'm a big fan of killer whales, so I'm definitely I'm with the whole story. But the way that they were trying to protect them and figure out how to get them out of SeaWorld to somewhere else made me think about black people. It's like, well, we're here in America, and I don't know about the racism on anywhere else. I just know about here. But no one is making documentaries about how to save black people. You know, remember the gorilla at the zoo where they had to kill the gorilla? Like,
Harambe.
yes, all the animals, but like we're below the animals. And
Yeah,
it just gets crazy to me because it's like, as a black community, we can't fight together. Everybody else on the world is like fighting for these animals. So when it comes back to this, I'm about to bring it back around. So when it gets back to this, it makes me realize how unimportant that our lives are to people. And period, because even though people don't live in America, they're okay what happens in America to black people all the time. And I think that again, it starts with us. We have to figure out a way as black people to come together and actually fight a battle and win it together. Because the more that we're fighting with each other, we're never going to win.
yeah.
And it can I say, like I said, I haven't seen this movie. I don't know what it says. I don't know what it expresses, right? Well,
Mhm.
we have all different kind of movies about the Holocaust. You have the
Right.
Diary of Anne Frank. You have the Holocaust 1 and 2. I mean, you have so many things about it. You even have documentaries about people who've been found in this country who were doing what people would call their job, right?
Yeah.
Working
Mhm.
in the camps, who are being sent back to face judgment and everything, like to this day. I just watched a documentary on Netflix about it about a month ago. It was The Neighbor I Didn't Know or something like that. And this man was believed to be somebody who was a KGB person who was the worst.
Mm.
I think I
Baby,
watched that.
if they didn't get him out of here and ship him back, this man in his 80s, 90s, whatever, his whole family is here. That man said, I am not him. I am not him. I am not him. I am not him. But because you had, what, 4 or 5 people come in and say, that's him. He's Yvonne the Terrible or whatever the name was. This man got prosecuted, can never come back, separated from his family. Now, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but there's all kind of documentaries out there. So if I post one that's pro everything, right, or what they deem
Mhm.
to believe is the correct portrayal about the Holocaust and everything,
Hmm.
then
Yeah,
I'm okay, long as they
Hmm.
agree with it. Long as I post what you agree with,
Right.
I'm
I
fine.
can.
And like I saw in the comments, somebody said, this is absolutely ridiculous. While I get that the Holocaust happened, the trade-off is y'all run the world.
I
Our
guess.
people were slaves and we're still being
True.
enslaved by being told what we can say, what we can do.
That's
And now
true.
if we say something against what you're saying, we lose everything. How much more do y'all want to break us?
Yeah, I guess my thought on all of that is this. So, and I agree with everything that y'all are saying because it opens up the door for a bigger problem. But with Kyrie Irving, for me,
Mhm.
post saying so, I'm not gonna say supporting with posting something about the Holocaust not existing. I don't agree with that. Do I think he was wrong to post it? No, because that's his right. But my thing is, I guess, and this could just be me, with the climate of things, with Kanye making his remarks, with them being extra sensitive about people speaking out against that particular community, why would you post something like that, even though it's not wrong? Why would you post something like that knowing the position that you're in versus everything that's going on? It's like you're bringing attention to yourself somewhat. To me,
Ooh,
clout
ooh. I wonder if you
clout
got the
chase.
same question, Dale.
Yeah, let
No,
me
because
say this. You're somewhat,
well, no,
to me,
this is gonna
like
this adds on to what you're saying. This adds to what you're saying because I'm a little confused. So did he say that it wasn't real, or did he just say it was interesting? Because I'm missing something.
the documentary
Mhm.
basically support, and hey Fifi ASP, the documentary, from what I'm hearing, because I have to watch it, that's why I definitely want us to come back and talk about this, and then we can form our true opinions on it.
Okay.
But from what I've heard about the documentary, it talks about blacks being the original Hebrews and that the Holocaust didn't exist. So it's, to me, the Holocaust was something that was very serious, just like slavery. I
Mhm.
think it's very insensitive to kind of
Disregard that.
disregard it. Just like
Mhm.
the same thing, there was a Holocaust in Africa with two groups of Africans. It was genocide going on. So when people diminish that, I gotta, anytime a human life is diminished and they just have no regard for it, I'm gonna have a problem with it. But that's just me. But I guess the main thing is just, like I said before, reading the room. The punishment. No, the
Oh no,
punishment.
girl, I'm sorry. More election results just came in, and they got
Uh,
Hot Wheels in the lead here in Texas. Ugh.
uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, I think the punishment was definitely too harsh for him. Like, why can't
What
he?
was his
If
punishment?
anything, he was suspended indefinitely from the NBA, and then
Mhm.
they asked him to do some other stuff. If
Mhm.
anything, I don't think anybody should be punished and lose endorsement deals, but it should be more. I don't know. I think it
He
should.
had to go sit with an anti-Semitic. He had to go take
Yeah.
anti-Semitic classes. He had to go sit with some Jewish leaders and all this other stuff. I'd be damn.
I just don't see. I
They
to
would be able to
me,
They
have it.
don't do all that for us, and that's what it opens the door to. But it's like right now, like I just feel like sometimes I wonder, was it really something that he truly strongly felt about, or was he trying to get attention? Because Kanye is in the news for somewhat the exact same thing because of remarks that he
what if it was
made.
just interesting to
They
him?
made two different, but then no, we can. We're not gonna lump him and Kanye together.
But people are.
It
It
was
happened. It
But what
happened.
if it was just
It
really
was two
interesting to
different things.
him? He never said
What if he
interesting.
never said he believed it? He
Yes,
said it
I'm
was
saying.
interesting.
The thing is, though, even though he never said he believed it or whatever, he knows what people are going to think about him posting something like that and then saying interesting looks like it implies that, hey, maybe this
Can I
could
ask a
be him.
question? Can I ask a question? What if it was interesting the other way around, where he like, he believed that it should be this way? He never said what was interesting to him, from which are saying.
The thing is, though, to even post it, though, is promoting it. Not like you shouldn't. I guess more people are upset that he even shared it.
It's oh Lord,
I
wait.
think that, I
Ooh,
mean,
give
so
me
for
5 minutes,
me,
y'all. I
people
gotta.
share. We have to watch slavery movies because they keep making them.
Mhm.
Will Smith is in one. They just made.
I know, and
So
why ain't nobody said it?
so what if he had posted that was interesting? Would this be the same flag?
No, because he's black and he's a product of slavery, so it's not going to be the same.
I think that we can't determine which way that he thought it was interesting, though.
The
In my
thing is,
own
though,
personal opinion,
I'll say this: when
because the views for me is not the views of you. I just want that for you
I'm
too.
just being realistic. Yeah, my views is it when somebody of another race posts something that my race went through and says that it's interesting and it's something that like them saying that slavery didn't exist, I'm going to be offended by it
But
because
what if
my
he didn't know?
What if he didn't know what?
Like the details, like maybe he watched the movie like, oh wow, this
Of
is
the
interesting.
Holocaust? We know about the Holocaust. Like,
We know that people, we know that the Jews when it we know what happened, like the basics. But what if the movie like describes something like more in depth for him
the
that was
movie
interesting?
is trying to say that it from now. This is all. Let me put on my alleged. This is
Oh,
alleged.
the movie is saying that was allegedly.
Yeah, the movie is saying that allegedly it didn't exist.
Now this makes sense. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the movie is promoting the fact that it wasn't in existence, is what I am hearing. I
Okay.
have not seen it for myself, so I don't know for sure. But whatever it was thoughts that were against that community. And
Okay.
me, if somebody did the same thing with slavery,
That
regardless,
makes that makes sense.
I would be offended by it.
Yeah. That makes more sense because I'm like, well, if he said it's interesting, then maybe he just had different views on or views about or didn't know enough about it. But if the movie is about it not really happening, I can see why that's why I might have posted interesting. Because I mean, to be honest, we don't get like there's no like month for them. There's no a lot of history when you're in school about that. So like it might have been interesting to know this story. We
Yeah.
when we after we watch it, then I can give a better
Yeah.
insight on how I
As I
feel.
said, I want to watch it so because I
Yeah,
right now I'm just going based off of hearsay and what other people
yeah.
said, but I actually do want to watch it where we can form an actual informed opinion. So let me go to the comment. Oh,
Thank
hey,
you.
Real Estate Insider. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say thank you for because I mean I love watching stuff like this, like documentaries or whatever. So now I got a new one to watch. So
Nola, any thoughts? She she have to work. I don't know.
I hear her shuffling around a little bit.
Yes. You coming back, Nola?
Huh?
You coming
No
back?
love.
Yes, I told you. Y'all didn't hear me say, give me a few minutes. I had to
Oh,
get
I didn't.
myself
I didn't
presentable
say
to
that.
come on camera because I woke up 5 minutes
Oh,
before
Oh,
work,
I know
and then
you. I know.
that's when I saw your message saying, hey, you was going live or whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, I just was trying to hurry up and get in here, so I didn't have the
I said that.
opportunity.
I'm sorry.
I just was
I'm
hurrying
sorry.
up to, to be here, so I can let the people know to like the video, which like the video, by the way. Okay.
Yes.
So I didn't have a chance to get decent. And now I'm guessing I look decent. Don't judge me if I
Let us
don't,
be the
y'all, because
let us be the let us be
I
the judge
normally
of
I
that.
normally work very comfortable since I work from home.
But
So I
no,
was
you know,
trying to
I think that the biggest conversation out of all of this when it comes to any matters of black people is that we do have to figure out as black people how to work together for
there we go.
stuff.
good
Um
to see you.
Hey girl, hey.
there go
Shoot,
my Chris.
I'm trying to set everything up, girl. I done put y'all on the doggone work camera today. So I don't have to be clicking back and forth because I have like the laptop, I have the screen, and then I have an extra screen for work, girl. I'd be dealing with three different things trying to make myself look a little
This is a good
presentable.
conversation.
Yes, I'm enjoying it.
I
I
really do
just,
like it. I like to hear different views of people. I
Mhm.
wish that more people was in the chat was saying stuff because to me, like I do want to know where people are like mentally when it comes down to like issues like this. I also, like I said, I always talk about black people and how we can win, and we need to learn to win together, not in different sections of being black.
Can I just let me cause see I've been sitting up here trying to be politically correct.
No, say it, tell it.
But I'm gonna just be honest.
Okay.
I am tired of other people being able to post what they want and unapologetically don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Hmm.
But when we post,
Mm.
we got to apologize. We got to censor. Oh, I can't post this because somebody might think this. This person might be offended. That person might.
Mhm.
If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose that. But everybody else can unapologetically post
The
what the
fact we
fuck
got to
they
post
want
YT.
and don't have to say anything, explain anything to anybody. But the minute we do, share our opinion, as simple opinion as this is interesting. It could have been interesting to him how they came up with these stories. It could have been interesting about everything. And I don't understand why people. So that's number one. So personally, I feel like Kyrie Irving post you want to post. I wouldn't be apologizing to nobody. I mean, unless you just need the money. I wouldn't be apologizing to nobody for saying that, for sharing my opinion that I thought a movie was interesting, that I truly thought was interesting. Not necessarily saying I agree with it. Hell, I thought the Woman King was interesting. I learned some different things that I
Oh, it
didn't know.
was.
I loved it. You know what I'm saying? There are movies that I thought was wow. Like that was my literal opinion. Wow. Like, ooh, this was a lot. It was interesting because you heard different things and it gave you things to go look up and topics to discuss to see if you agree or not agree. You know what I'm saying? Or it leads you down the road to do some research for yourself to make you think for yourself. So it was interesting. Me saying
Mm.
something that's interesting is not invalidating your feelings or your trauma,
Yeah.
and it's not giving validation to the people who made the movie saying that it's true. I am so sick and tired of everybody else being able to say and do what the hell they want to do, but we got to censor everything. And then we always turn it to, well, they was going to look at you like this. No, fuck that. We are tired.
So how do we change that?
Um, th- Honestly, you don't change it unless we wake up. You know what
I'm
I'm
with
saying?
the
You
real
don't
estate. I'm
listen.
with the real estate insider. I'm with
You
him.
you don't. No one cares if we're talking disparaging about ourselves. Exactly, and they don't. And real estate
I'm with
insiders,
you.
they don't care when the others are talking about us either.
So our conversation.
Because the truth of the matter is, when others have been caught
They never
saying
care.
disparaging things about us,
Right.
right?
Right.
They get 2 to 3 minutes in the media, then they come out and say it was so insensitive of me, it was
Yeah.
horrible, I have learned from my ways. They don't lose Nike contracts, they don't lose NFL contracts, they don't do none of that. They don't do any of that. They don't, they can come out and they don't have to go sit with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, and they don't have to go sit with nobody.
Well, but
They
that's
don't
also
have to do it.
Nola, but that's also unfair that you have to even do those things though. As black people, it's sad that you have to sit with Jesse Jackson to get your point across. Because as black
No, no, no,
people,
no, no, no. I'm
no,
saying when the YT people and other people do it to us,
they
like
don't
they
have to
want
do it.
Kyrie to go sit with
Right.
the Jewish leaders.
No,
Ain't nobody
I'm
gonna
agreeing
sit
with
with
you.
our leaders
I'm
when they do
agreeing with
that
you.
bullshit.
I'm agreeing with you. They don't
Oh,
have
okay.
to.
I thought you were saying
They
like
don't
it's
have to.
saying we have to sit with one of them to get our
No,
point across.
what other races don't have to do that, right? Is what you're saying, right?
Correct.
We do because we are at the bottom of the totem pole. So we don't have we have to do a Jesse Jackson to get our point across. But the reality is, again, and I think maybe I should not do this because I feel like I'm trying to change the direction of the conversation. But I feel like, to me, this is my own personal opinion. This is what Nola reads or the candy shop. But to me, it's because we will not figure out as black people how to get something done together as black people.
My husband made a good point. He just said, why are they holding this athlete to this standard that they don't usually hold athletes to, like this higher
That's
standard now?
BLACK. That's
I'm
why. That's the only
sorry.
reason why. White. I want to say it. I said white. No other race does this, and like we don't stand up for them when this is happening because we are divided, and so they're like, since they're already
Yeah, I will say this,
a destructive group of people.
and it's not
Let's
just,
run it down.
but
Let's run
sometimes
it down.
though, the reason why we don't come together though, they don't publicize
there should
the
never be a
incident.
reason why we don't come together as
We
black people,
don't
when a
know
black
what I'm
person,
saying
unless they
is
did something wrong.
we don't even hear about it though to come together. They don't publicize it or put it in the media
But
like
why though? But why though? Like why do we
because
not
of
have
us.
our outlet for black people to know what's going on with black people? And
Well, we
this is my
need other
thing.
outlets to report our news because of like what Nola was talking about that's going on in Florida. I didn't even know anything about that.
That's not an excuse. We have social media in 2022 at this point. There is a social media, there's an outlet for us to know what's going on. The reason is that we don't follow each other, we don't support each other. So we get dogged out every time and we get the consequences because we as black people don't want to do it. Or not want to do it. We don't like each other.
Yeah.
That's what it
Listen,
is.
there is an actual book. I'm gonna look up the name of this book, but
Oh,
it's a it's
real quick. And I want to say this because this is why it makes a bigger difference. There's no other race who has even different skin tones like we do. So we have a bigger battle than a lot of other people do have, but we really need to figure it out. To be honest, um, and I'm not saying that y'all are doing this. I'm saying this for my own personal reasons. We have to stop making excuses about why we're not supporting each other when things are happening. Listen, I get the division of black people, but at some point, like we cannot be separated. We need to come together. Everybody else has learned, no, understood it besides us, and I understand why we don't get it. But like we in 2022 at this point, like we have to figure this out as black people. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there.
I agree. Lamar, let me drop the link. Lamar, do you want to come up? Or a real estate insider? Or you want to talk for a little bit? My husband wants to come on. Oh Lord.
I just feel like it's crazy because we keep blaming other people about
no, no,
things
no.
that we already
I am,
know.
I am not, I
I'm
am
not.
not.
I'm not saying. I'm
So
not
yeah,
saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm not even saying the candy shop. I'm saying as black people, what we do is we make excuses. The reality is that we don't even really like each other all that much. We have so much division, so it's hard for us to like really handle something. And the reason why I even look at it this way, again, this is my own personal opinion, because when you come to the LGBTQIS plus community, it's all different, but they figured it out how to work it out together to accomplish something. We don't do that. And I think that even when we were doing like during COVID, when Black Lives Matter was a thing, we were all coming together. And I will say again, because I think the name was misleading, we were thinking it was like a black life, everybody's black, we all matter thing, but that's not really what it was.
no, no.
So
I knew exactly what it was, and I never took it for that. It was definitely
I
Our Lives
always
Matter.
I always thought that was about Black Lives Mattering. That because the name was Black Lives Matter. I knew it was about
No,
the police.
I knew it was definitely about the police brutality situation
Mhm.
and stop killing us. Our lives matter. I knew exactly what it was from the
But they
beginning.
should have
Me
named it
personally,
something. They should have named it something different because Black Lives Matter should be meant for us as Black people mattering together because that's important for us. And I think that, and I'm a sit on this horse until the horse is dead and we start supporting each other. We have to figure out a way as Black people to support each other. Period. And I will never let that go until it happens. I think that it means a lot.
Candy left us.
She'll be back. I think she something happened with her thing or whatever. But
So
I think it's important for us. Well, I don't think it's important for us as black people because everybody else does it besides us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
okay, so first of all, I want to say I definitely do agree. We definitely need to learn how to support each other, come together, and we need to learn our power.
Hmm.
When you look at things that's going on right now, right? There is
Hmm.
an actual book about how to control the modern day slave,
Hmm.
right? And it's how you feed them different
That's what
things
I'm
in the media.
saying.
Huh?
That's what I'm
I'm not
saying.
supposed to
Go
say
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
word?
No, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying though.
there's an
It's
actual
it's,
book,
it's still talking about a modern day slave. Like
but,
who it's us. We are the modern day slave.
right, but it's telling you how you keep us divided. You keep, we don't.
Right.
A lot of us don't read, but everything that's going on right now is how you do it. And the thing about it is, they are still doing to us what they have done to us in the previous years
Because they
before.
can.
They,
No,
they, but that's why I'm saying we need to get together to realize our power.
Well,
And I
see,
think once
they're
we,
gonna always win if we still stay divided. Period.
right,
Like
but that's why
what
I'm
they
saying,
did during slavery was magical, because the race. Because listen, I'll be watching a lot of channels. I know. I think I seen this on Nosy Channel earlier today when they were talking about the oldest person that they had found was a black lady. So if the oldest person on earth was a black lady, why are black people? This is my thing. Black people are divided. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, we mix race with other people, but the mold was us.
That's all right. I won't worry.
The mold was us, and we are the ones who failed the worst because we are so stuck. We let them divide us, and literally, the division is nothing to not bring back to. Like it would take nothing to bring it back together for all of us, but because different black people have different privileges, it's a thing. And the reality is that even if you are the lightest black person, you are still underpaid at work. You still, if the police pull you over, you still black. Like there's so many variants of why it's a realistic idea of us. Like, you know what? Maybe all different skin tones ain't really that damn bad, because we still get treated the same if we get pulled over, when they pull in our credit, everything. When it comes down to America, period, you black. Whether we the lightest one or the darkest one, you still black. We even watched during slavery black women and black men being passed as white people, and hoping that they would not find out they were really black. So if that's the case, why have we not, as black people, understood the power as a black person? Because if I could be a white person and still make it, and then I get all the credit that I can get paid that I can get because I am this, why have we not figured out the fact that we are the cream of the crop?
so understand this, right?
Mhm.
And hear what I'm saying.
I'm
Like I
here.
was, I was talking about that book, and then you cut me off, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm just messing with you. I just have to be petty
This is a
with
very
you.
passionate conversation for me.
after you make your point, Nola, I want my husband want to talk to.
Oh, okay, he can go ahead because we've been talking. I'll wait.
All right.
Well, I think a lot of things with the black community, we don't want to hold ourselves accountable for our activities as a group. To be fair, I mean, you look at even the situation with the Offset murder in Houston. Where's the march for that? When are we going to start march, instead of saying, well, what we'll do is we'll kill each other, and then we'll even make T-shirts memorializing the guy that was murdered. But then on the back end, we'll also want to free the guy that killed him. So I don't understand how we can continue to feel like that we're going to have a plight or have a point in the African American community when we don't hold ourselves accountable first. Now, I don't disagree that the police are killing black people in the community. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that we are an egregious society. However, I don't think we help our own cause on a lot of levels.
Me and my husband's plight are very different.
Yeah.
Him and my friend Lamar usually agree with each other, but I'll let him.
I just don't think, and don't get me wrong.
Hey, peace, love.
I do want us to love each other. I do want us to come together. I do want to, but there's no way for us to come together unless there is at least a bottom line amicable amount of accountability. Mm-hmm. Until we get that part right, all of this, hey, Black Lives, I think that's a good cause, but at the same time, it's not going to be a good cause.
It is.
I don't think it's going to be a good cause unless there's an effective amount of accountability when we don't do right.
But the
I'm
thing
with
is,
you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
can I say this? But the thing
I'm with your husband, by the
is
way. Go
very
ahead.
critical though of each other. Though.
No, I'm
That's-
not. I'm not. But the thing, I don't think we're critical of each
Do
other.
you think all other races like each other?
Yeah, I don't think
Other races. I said racist. Racists like each other.
I think what we do is we put ourselves in the forefront to where most of our negative energies and most of our negative things. Because I'll be honest with you, I think for the most part, the African American community is not nearly as negative as people portray.
We're not.
But we allow. But the thing
But
is,
we don't. But we also don't have the opportunity to be that
and
way.
that's the thing. We don't have the opportunity, and what's happening is when we speak on these different platforms, all they have to say is, well, what about what you're doing in the community as far as killing each other and you know, the FNF and all this other stuff. And then
good.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I love the Black community, but at the same time, I do agree with the fact that we just have to find a way to hold each other a little bit more accountable and have we don't even have a fight at this point.
Yes, in the back. I'm bringing my whole family on the damn.
But no, that's all I had to say. I'm just.
But that's true.
No,
everything that he said is very true. Yeah. And the reason why is because it's like we look at everybody else, to be honest, but there's no division. But the thing is that people be talking about black magic. And we as Black people we have black magic. When I say black magic, I mean
you're talking about black girl magic.
No, black magic, like as in Black people can create like different skin tones. We have our like this is who we are as Black people. Period. It's magical. Like other races cannot do that. And so what they do is they dumb down on us because if you watch movies, anything. You'll watch people who you'll watch how they treat people who could do better or more than them bad because they cannot do it. No other race can create different skin tones like we can. No other race. They copy our music, they copy our education, they copy all of our stuff. But as Black people, like we never embrace the fact that we are as magical as we can be. And I really, since I've been doing radio, I've always talked about this. I hate the fact that we are against each other so much because we don't have to be. If we decided, you know what, maybe so and so or whatever is not as bad as it is, I could be cool with them or whatever. It would change everybody's lives when it comes down in America because Black people, we did everything. We built this country. We also, to this day right now, if these jobs didn't have Black people, they wouldn't even strive anymore because they underpay us to work their jobs. Imagine if everything was fair. Would the work still be good? Like Black people are amazing. It doesn't matter what shade of Black that you are. We are amazing people, but we don't understand that. We are looking at each other as like one is lighter, one is darker, one is in the middle. Somebody has different privileges than we have. The reality is that we all are just Black people we have Black people magic because God created us that way. And that's not our fault. And we should never be faulted for that. But we live a life like that because other races don't like us. Think about the people over in Africa who hate us. There's people Black people in Africa who don't even like African American people. But the reality is because we literally have been through a lot as Black people over here in America, who and that we never should have went through, but we're here and we've done it. And like, just think about the things that you know how to, like both of y'all know how to do by yourselves. There's a lot of Black people who don't have that many skills, but we know that because of our ancestors who went through slavery.
All right. Nola.
I want Nola look like she about to cuss me out.
You're muted, Nola.
Oh, like it's mute.
And hey,
because I was sitting back here I
I'm
definitely
about to
was
put y'all on
cussing.
my phone and mute myself.
I definitely was cussing, but I'm literally sitting here. What you see on my face is a little bit of frustration
Right.
and me trying to fight back tears.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I literally get that we can be our own worst enemy. I get that.
Right.
I literally get that we don't understand that we actually have the power when you, like I was saying before, when you look at how everything is going right now, features that I was told as a little girl was by the media was not attractive, that I was ugly. I mean, I ain't never believed it. I ain't saying I'm the most cutest thing in the world, but I don't think my skin tone, or you know what I'm saying, I don't feel like nothing about me gives you, when you see me, grab your goddamn purse, right? I don't feel this right, like, but now they're paying for features that I'm naturally born with. So I understand that we don't understand, but my thing is, I am I am so sick of the argument. And yes, we do need to have town hall meetings and community meetings where we hold each other accountable, where we hold each other accountable for the things we do in our community. I 100% agree with your husband with that. But my thing is, I am so sick of the argument that, oh, we can't say stop killing. I can't say you're hurting me on the outside because the people on the inside are hurting me. That to me, that's like saying, I live in this house and my sister works on my nerves and my sister hurts me. But if I go outside and my neighbor hurt me, oh, well, I can't say nothing about my neighbor hurting me because I'm not dealing with my sister hurting me on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a justification for what others do and putting the blame back on us. And yes, we do share blame. Okay. But even in, when you look at other situations, right? And I'm only bringing up the Holocaust because of, with the Kyrie Irving thing, right? You had their men was separated from their women, right? But you had like children got to sit together, or you separated men, women, children, right? And then, whatever happened from there. And when you look at other people, right? They might have separated their men and their women. You separated our men from our women. Then you also separated us by color. Oh, if you were lighter skin, you got to work in the house. But if you was darker skin, you had to work in the fields. And so this is how colorism comes up. This is how you get people to break down from the inside of within their core. Right? So colorism is not just going to go away with one conversation. It has to be several conversations because it's been ingrained in us for years. For years. We grew up, you had parents who, lighter skinned mother might have fell in love with that nice Hershey chocolate sun-kissed man. But she, on the inside, she prayed that her child didn't come out looking like him because of how that child would be treated. We're not going to act like that still to this day don't play into things that we have going on right now, and along with our self-hate. See, you have to, when you have so many years of self-hate to get over, you definitely need to build that up with some self-love. Slavery been gone, but come on now, when you were able to pass, you passed because you didn't want to be treated like shit. And I'm not saying back in those days, if I wanted to live a certain type of life and didn't want to be demeaned, I can't sit up here and honestly say I wouldn't have tried to pass because it was a better way for me to get certain things in education and things like that. Would I have brought it back to my community? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I would have. I can say that. But to just act like, oh, it's a problem that we can fix overnight when it haven't been years of breaking us down and tearing us apart. Like, I think it's okay for us to admit that we have problems and we need to come together and still say, you shouldn't be killing me. You shouldn't be shooting me. You shouldn't be judging me by the color of my skin. You should be able to say that. But see, we own stuff and we don't even know it. Do you know how we could flip the narrative if the world knew that White Lives Matter was actually owned by two young black men? A lot of people don't know that. And they bought it to try to flip the race, the YT supremacist movement. Okay, is why they bought it. And then Kanye and Candace wore it and thought they was gonna make some money and sell T-shirts, but these other two young brothers own it. But we don't read. We don't know to read. We don't know when you're watching the news and they're pushing this over here that you actually need to go look over here because it's some bullshit they're trying to get done and get past your eyes. But if you wasn't raised like that, if you wasn't raised with a parent who didn't know that, right? Then what can they do? If you were raised in a family where the mentality is, I'm going to get you before you get me, and you see that all within your family, right? Then what you 9 out of 10 gonna come out here and be? You're gonna have to meet somebody on the outside that show you love. But when you growing up in a neighborhood where everybody is get or get gotten, children out here with children because mamas have to work 2 and 3 jobs. We're not gonna act like this prison system is not causing our black men to be where they are. Well, black women have had to come in and step in and be the head because y'all gone. Y'all ain't here. Our whole family structure has been broken down. And yes, we need to get that together. But I think 2 things can be said at the same time. We need to hold ourselves accountable, but I'll be damned if I'm not going to tell you you don't have no right to judge me because of the color of my skin, because there's colorism in my community. I'm not going to do that. I think they both can be right and synonymous. They both can be right at the same time. Yes, we have work we need to do within us. If we get together and realize the power of our dollar, right now, everything is moving based on our culture and everybody is getting credit for it. Even down to the young lady who made the King's Anthem on TikTok. They deleted the sound from her and gave it to, I don't know if this person was YT, Asian, or mixed. I don't know. But they gave, and they did a cover of it. And they gave that person credit for her original sound. They're trying to mute us. We need to, yes, come together and make apps on our own, support our own, have our own grocery stores in our neighborhood that we do not rob, and that they are able to get produce and good food, not that raggedy cheap meat. Not the raggedy, and y'all know they be having lower grades of meat. Not the lower grades of meat, but the good meat to be able to put nourishment into our neighborhoods without them having to pay an arm and a leg for it, which causes them to have to charge us 3 arms and 3 legs.
Everything that you said is right.
Community, but I'm tired of having the police what the hell I say. Meanwhile, people can say whatever the hell they want to say about me. I be child, no God.
But Nola, everything that you said is right. Everything you said is absolutely right.
Sorry. I am sorry to go off on my rant.
What's going on?
No, everything that you said was right though. Like you didn't say nothing that was wrong. I think that we're saying the same thing, to be honest, from what I can hear from you're saying, but I'm saying that it does start with us, to be honest. And I hate that people hate that when we say that, because it does. I mean, people say it like when other races do it to us, but the reality is that it does start with us as Black people, because we do not support each other. We do be killing each other. We do all those things that people say about that, which you can say about every other race. They all do the same thing, right? But it still boils down to the fact that we don't respect each other as Black people, period. And I'm not giving anybody any excuse to disrespect Black people at all. What I'm saying is that we as Black people need to, like, okay, this is happening. We need to have a conversation as Black people about why these things keep happening to us, why we can't come together as Black people and execute anything. It never works. And those Black guys who bought White Lives Matter, if I would have thought about it, I probably would have too, because you knew it was coming. Just like the Blue Lives Matter, I would have bought that too, because you knew it was coming. It's going to make money. So why not capitalize off of any of that? It makes sense to me. But when it comes down to Black people, we have to get in a space as Black people where we understand the fact that, listen, we can, if you get it together. So let's deal with us first and then deal with everybody else, so that we can come together and actually fight something and win.
I agree.
And I'm gonna get off my soapbox, Lamar, so you can go.
Yeah, I've said it all. No, I agree with everything you're saying, particularly what you said about um, we do have to take accountability, in my opinion. I feel like while we can't dismiss other folks doing us wrong, we do have to still point the finger at ourselves and figure out what can we do to be able to work together, because it is very difficult. I don't understand why for us to all work together as black folks. There is not a lack of money in the black community. That, to me, that's no longer. We
It's
got
not.
billionaires. We got billionaires. We got millionaires. We got black folks making money. Nobody's stopping us from making money. Nobody's stopping us from being on here today and monetizing or what have you. Nobody's stopping us from doing nothing. It's
Right.
it's we have to look at ourselves at some point and figure out what can we do to stop killing each other, not dismissing what white folks doing or whoever
Right.
other people doing. Sorry, other people doing. But what can we do to enrich ourselves? I think
Right.
it's almost like, you know how you have a dog locked up on a chain for a long time, 4 or 5
Mhm.
of them. You let them go, and there's one piece of meat. It's almost like we because of slavery. Now that we're all free, we all chasing out the one piece of meat and killing each other to get one piece of meat, rather
Yes.
rather than working
Yeah.
together. And it's hard. But I wish we would. As horrible
It's
as
like
slavery was,
we can share it, right?
we can share.
We can
We
share
can
it.
share, but it's such a competition, and we all try to be the flashiest and the have the it's disgusting to me. I wish we would work together more.
I just my whole message, I guess, for any of this is that I think that it's time for us as black people to come together and like let's forget about what everybody else has going on with us because that's still going to happen. But until we as black people come together and decide, listen, uh, forget our differences. We have to come together to fight some of these things. Like there's a lot of things that we need to fight together as black people, but we are not doing it. And I don't blame anybody, to be honest. I don't, because I mean this is a taught behavior from black people. It's been passed down from generation upon generation. And then we have the other races who know to treat us this way. But if we as black people decide, you know what, I'm just done with this. Let's all put our differences aside and let's work together to let's fight one thing first and then work our way down. We could win.
One more thing I want to add. I feel like we have to get out of the mindset of expecting folks to correct what happened in the past. It's never going to happen. They're never going to
Never.
correct it. They'll give BS apologies and all that stuff, but there's never going to be a correction. I think we're looking for a correction, and then we're also looking for an overcorrection. We want to be given treats and free stuff to overcorrect what
And
happened
the
back
result.
in the day. I think we just need to from today forward set the standard of how you're going to treat us versus expecting you to fix something that you did or your people did years ago.
Listen, I don't want nothing from them demon devils. I don't want nothing from them people who arrived from the mountains of Caucasus or wherever the hell they came from. Okay, I don't want nothing from it. I don't even want an apology because you can't truly apologize to me for something you didn't do because you don't understand the ramifications of the pain. I don't want it. What I want you to do is stop feeling like you can comment on our community issues because you don't belong here. What I want is the women who act like they are us because they grew up in the hood, so they feel like they black women adjacent. I need you to understand you do not go through the same thing that I go through as a black woman. Don't speak on it.
Yeah.
Don't speak on it. You don't understand it. That's what I want. The same way I don't mind y'all business in y'all community, don't mind the business in ours. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? What I want from them, honestly, is to be left the fuck alone. It has been proven that we can do it. We had our own Wall Street, we had our own city, we had it all. And we were thriving
And they burned it down.
And
and
we
they
still
burned it down.
we have black banks.
You know what I
How
mean?
many of us have how many of us have an
I
account
do.
at a black bank though?
I do.
One of four.
Oh,
Wait,
I
what'd you
do.
say?
No, I said we have black banks, but how many black folks have accounts at black banks?
I do. I also know
I
about the
don't.
black city in Georgia that all of those people put together. It was, I think it was 11 or 12 families in Georgia, and they bought this land in the city, and they're making it a black city right there in Georgia. Where y'all at?
But that
Well, I
wasn't
don't
the
know
first
about you,
time.
Lamb,
That wasn't the
No,
but
first
that was
time.
but I'm saying so we are making moves, right?
No, 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 no. They are.
Well, no,
that's
but I'm saying there are people who are
you're
making
right. You're
moves
right. You're right. What you're saying. I'm saying
for
that.
the betterment of us. But the thing about it is, a lot of us don't even know. We're Googling the wrong things. We're not Googling things to make us better, right?
Nola.
Because I'm just being honest. We're not Googling the right things to make us better. We're not looking for the news channel like the black news channel.
The griot.
You know what I'm saying? We're not looking.
Right now.
We're not
you're
looking at the
absolutely
grill.
right.
We're not reading the books, right? Listen, as much as I talk about Raggedy LAMH, Love and Hip Hop, and all the other shows I watch, understand I have read the miseducation of black people. I do my history upon myself, and I teach it to my children. But there's not enough of us who do that.
That's my point.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
my
There's not
entire
enough of
point.
us who do that. And honestly, guess what? There are some of us who don't even know where to find it.
Hmm.
You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Well,
Who don't even know where to
listen,
find it, who
but
don't even know how to do it.
but to piggyback on what you said, that's my point. They did the betterment for themselves because black people wasn't coming together and doing it. So they was like, you know what? For my family, I'm going to do it for my family. The reality is that other races do it for their races all the time. We don't as black people because we are divided. So
Indians.
you make like your point. You making your points are great. Like you're making great points, but it's for specific people, like a family or something like that.
But this is why I'm saying we don't need apology. But what we do need to heal is from trauma. That
Right,
trauma from all of those years ago, while it's not still, oh, we working on slave, but that trauma, that mindset have been passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation in one form or the other. And it really needs to be broken. You know what I'm
but
saying?
should
Like
that not be
I'm just
like
saying,
a whole thing though?
should it not be a what?
Should that not be like a thing for black people versus just a family? Like
No,
that's
I'm saying period. First of all, in order for any type of healing, in order for any type of mindset change to happen, you have to first be open to changing your mindset. Second of
right,
all, you have to do the work to get you to
right.
the place where your mind can be open to hear and do
With you,
other things. And that's no matter what, right?
with you. I'm with
So,
you.
individually, as well as the family unit, as well as us as the community, right? It
Right,
needs to be happen. Those mindsets need to be broken, is what I'm
right.
saying, right? In order
Okay,
for
so
us
I'm with you. I'm with you.
to
What happened
do,
to Lamar?
He probably
I
gonna come
guess
back
maybe
up.
he probably gonna come back up. So that's what I'm
So
saying. Like
we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing.
those mindsets and those things need
Yeah.
to be changed, right? But in order for that to happen, it also have to be times where parents can sit and be parents. A lot of us, we
When
have
do they
some
have
middle
time though?
listen, but that's what I'm saying. So how do you get this broken? How do you begin to talk about it? We're not going to sit up here and act like
You gotta
our
start. You
kids
gotta
are
start from the
afforded
root.
the
You gotta start from the root.
opportunity, but we're not going to sit up here and act like our kids are afforded the opportunity to be kids.
They're not, but
You know what I'm saying? So
but you have to
that's the
start from the
thing.
root of the family, though. You have to,
I'm not saying that you don't, but
we're
what
still
I'm
sitting here
saying is we
listening
have to
to.
look at the only reason why I'm bringing that up, like other people, their children are able to be children. Our children in this day and age have to be raised still with restriction. You
Why
can't
though?
do
Why
this
though?
because of the way society is.
Right.
You
So
know what I'm saying? So, but what I'm so, but you're not letting me
I'm
finish.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this conversation, so I'm sorry.
So what I'm
Let me
saying
shut the fuck
is,
up so you can talk. I'm sorry.
what I'm
I'm mute
saying
myself.
is we have to sit down and figure out how we're going to make times in those spaces. Our children are having to grow up harder than what we did, and along with what others are doing, right? On top of, there's so many different things that's going on. Like I say, and with inflation, you have to work 2 to 3 jobs to try to be able to afford that. In a single parent home, where does the mom have time to, or the dad, or in a multi-parent home, where do you have time to begin to heal from your childhood wounds, let alone the ancestral wounds that you carry, to begin to build this foundation? We need to start creating spaces and times and places where we can have this meeting to start this healing process. That's why I'm saying we need to have things in our community that say, hey, If I grow the lettuce, you grow the tomatoes, you have the chickens. Now I grow some lettuce. I'm not playing with no chickens because I'm deadly afraid of them. But what I'm saying is, we need to start making things in our community to make it easier for us to have these conversations. Because guess what? At 18, we got to kick our children out. You grown. They don't have the luxury because we can't afford to send them to school in a nice fancy car, all luxury paid. Baby, we Amazon wish listing that thing out for your graduation to make sure you have everything that you need for your dorm. We praying to God that is still some type of financial aid for us who have younger kids who haven't reached the college age yet. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it, and then when you come from a mama that had to do it, and now you in that same struggle situation, and then your kids be in the same struggle situation, you got to go back and break all of that. And it's typically when a person get out, they are so glad to be up out, and they don't have to struggle. Y'all know what we do? We come back, we look down. Everybody want to be the rich auntie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be the rich auntie, but even the rich auntie is broken on the inside and needs healing. And that's my point. We need to be healed. And you can't fix anything until you dig that issue out from the root. If you have a callus, if you just scrape off the top skin and don't get to the root of that callus, guess what's going to happen? It's going to grow the hell back. So we got to be ready to look in mirrors and open up wounds that we ain't able, that we haven't been able to open up and admit. A lot of us have to acknowledge we're never going to get an apology. You're never going to get reparations. They're going to always see you as no matter how much money you have. Look at Kanye. He thought he was it. You know what I'm saying? He had his Armenian devil and everything else right on his arm. And just like that, guess what they did? He lost it all and showed him you're still a nigga. Unfortunately, that's what happened. There's no we arrived for us. And I think when a lot of us work to get out so we can be accepted in society, and we arrived, but there's no we arrived for us when it comes down to the rest of society. We're going to spend our life trying to prove that we are
But
worthy.
it could
So
be
let's
though.
stop trying
It
to
could be.
I feel like let's stop trying to prove we're worthy to the others and prove we're worthy to ourselves and work as a community to build our own community. And F them. I don't care about Gucci, Louis, Prada, or Fendi because don't none of them look like me. But I'll wear somebody that look like me. But that's what they tell us is important, so that's what we strive for.
I'm with you on like nothing you said to me is wrong. I'm with you on everything. To me, it's like, but it has to start with us. That's my own thing. I'm never going to stop saying that because I feel like as Black people, we can't win without each other. So that's I think
Can't win without each other, but what I'm
everything that
saying
you
is
said, everything
we
that you
need to
said to
find
me
resources
is right.
because honestly, we don't have the resources
We
to
can't.
help each
No,
other. If I'm broken and
Nola,
you broken, how
Nola,
can I fix you?
Nola. We do have the resources. We have people in every field of work. Black people are in every field of work. We have the resources.
Listen,
What we
just
the,
because you in the
the
field of work,
one resource that we don't have, hear me out on this, and then I will shut the fuck up for real. Excuse me for cussing on your channel, the Candy Shop. But I will shut up after this. We have all the resources that we need. What we don't have is the community that we need. And that's to me, I'm going to stand on that hill. I would die on that hill. We don't have the community that we need as Black people to support each other all day long. We have it. Like there's nothing that can change that. We have that. We just don't because we are so brain effed from our slavery mentality that we don't do it. And if you pull up something that's happening, I can tell you why it's related to slavery. That's real talk.
but you just proved my point for me, and why I
I
say
said
we don't
you're
have the,
right.
and why I say we don't have the resources. We have listen for me for a while. I worked in customer service. I had to communicate and get people who couldn't understand all day. But at a time in my life when it came down to me and my personal feelings,
Mm.
I wasn't able to. Did it all day long. But
But
when
does
it
that
came
change
down
the
to
fact that
me,
you don't have the resources?
this, but it was because of things that I had been through.
Hmm.
I didn't feel I was given the tools to be able to properly navigate that as far as
Right.
my personal life. At my job,
Hmm.
right? And I'm just using that for an example. They
Hmm.
gave me the tools. If you have a customer that say this, if you have a customer that say this,
Right.
here's how you fight that reluctance. Here's how you say that. Here's how you get them to calm down. That's a job. You follow the script, right?
Right.
Versus in your personal life. I'm saying we don't have
But
to.
that's what
Yes, we have
we're
people.
saying the same thing. We're saying the
We
same
have
thing.
people in who have the jobs and the knowledge, but guess what? They still have the same trauma that we have, that they are not recognizing, that they refuse to face, or that some of them even feel like they're better than. That's why I'm saying,
That are different races than us.
no, I'm saying that's our same race.
No, that's we're saying the same. That's what I'm saying. We're saying the same thing. We're just saying two different things at the same time.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm.
It,
But no, I'm
that's true.
explaining
That's
why I
true.
say we
That's
don't
true.
have resources. I can, I can,
The
I can, I
the
can.
reality is that we do have the
We have them,
resources.
but they're broken resources. They have the same
They're not broken
ancestral
resources.
traumas that we
We
have.
don't trust the resources
Oh,
because,
I'm not saying that, baby. My
and
doctor ain't saying that.
I'm gonna tell you
I'm
why I'm
going
gonna
to
say
somebody
that.
who look like me, who gonna fight for me. No,
Hmm.
God, mm-mm. My
We have the
neurologist,
same
my
resources. We don't trust,
epileptologist,
but
and
Nola,
my
Nola,
therapist.
Nola. We have the same resources. We don't trust the resources because they black people. Because how many times
Yeah, I don't have
have
that
you
problem, but
are
I
have
understand
you
what you're saying.
seen on social media? Well, I want to support them, but the customer service is so bad. McDonald's customer service is horrible. Like it's not even good at all. But because it's a white
And they give you cold
establishment,
fries these days,
people
so
still
you can
go
go
there
to
every
DoorDash.
day. So we have the same resources. We don't trust black resources when it comes down to business stuff. Even with me, I build websites, and they will try to barter with me. They will try to do everything but pay the original price for my business. And I'm like, I'm never going to downplay my prices, never, because if y'all gonna pay other people the prices for this, then you're gonna pay me the same thing. Period. I have a customer right now that I'm working with. It's not even a black owned company, but it's a black establishment. I told people, I said, email me what you want for your website. You know what they did? They sat down with me and wrote it down on a piece of paper that they took home with them. Never ever email me. And we have to realize, y'all, if y'all hear nothing else I ever say, I will log off YouTube and never go back on today. People expect stuff from black people they do not expect from everybody else all the time, especially when it comes down to business. When it comes down to black people, period, the fighting stuff, we don't do it together. It's like it's so separated, and it's so hard to even try to be a part of it because you want to, but you know there's discrimination coming with it. You know it's gonna be so hard to even do it, and taking that away, like with my business, like I've had white clients. What I do with my black clients is so different from my white clients. They want something that they're going to pay less for. They want something they could pay more. They should pay more for less than what they want to pay for it. And if I don't do it for them, they're going to go to somebody else. To me, again, it is a black issue, and I'm going to stand on that hill until I die. Like I said, I'm not saying that police brutality is a black issue. I'm not saying most of the stuff that you even talked about today was a black issue. But us as black people, when it comes down to fighting for our rights, has to be us together. Period. If we can't come together as black people, it's never going to work. That's why throughout all these years, we've been fighting these battles that won't work because we're not together. And unless you show me that when it worked that way, I'm gonna believe that. And I think that's all I really had to say. But I think when you were saying that, like everything you said was dope. I appreciated it. It was facts, what you said. But it still comes down to us. Because if the people that I'm working with are not treating me right as a black person, if we don't have that what's the word I'm looking for? That Damn, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. If we don't have that togetherness as Black people to fight for our rights, why would everybody else do that? When we look at the Holocaust, they have each other's back. So we can't fight that battle for them because they already fought that battle. It's us as Black people. And I'm not talking about anything with the police brutality, with jobs. I'm talking about us as Black people at this point right now. If we decided that, you know what, we need to come together and like just fix our own shit, life will change for us as Black people.
Yes. All right. Well, any final thoughts? Because I am ready to get off here now.
Oh no, you got like another hour.
No.
I was about to say we didn't even talk about election. Well, I guess we took it longer than y'all know. Candy only give us an hour, child.
I was trying to stay, but I didn't. While y'all was talking, I ate 2 hamburgers.
I'm just, for me, I just think with this, I think this was an amazing conversation.
Yes, I definitely.
Nola and you and Lamar, you guys brought up some really great points when it comes down to this fight for us. I think that we should look at everything that everybody said on this panel because we all had some very valid points. I think if we could combine those things, we could win.
Definitely. I agree with you. I always enjoy you and Nola's insight on things, and Lamar and my husband. Me and my husband disagree on a lot, but yeah.
Oh, and your husband, he has some good points too. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot he was over here.
But Nola, any final words?
No, not really. I think I left it all out there. I would encourage people to go out. You don't have to believe anything we say. You don't have to agree with anything we say. I'ma just say go out and do the research for yourself. Learn for yourself. Learn about your history, because those who do not know the past or fail to repeat it in the future.
Correct.
Know about your history. Learn about it. Accept the parts that you feel are right or whatever, that you agree with. And research the parts that you don't. I want everybody to know we are beautiful. We have created a lot of things, algebra, geometry, all of that come. The first measuring tool, which was a geometric tube, was created in Africa. So while they try to make like others are the best in math, it was us at one point. We were the beginning of it all. And so I want you all, if you do not see beauty in us or beauty in your community, start seeing beauty in yourself and start becoming the beauty that and the unity that you want within your community. Pay it forward, and I don't just mean paying it with somebody. If you see a little child that don't have a coat and you holding on to them coats that your children ain't gonna never fit in because they ain't gonna never be for again, give it to them. Find somebody in your community that you can bless with the things that you no longer want. Now, when I say that, let me say this: don't go around here giving nobody nothing with no stains on it. If it's trifling, throw the trifling stuff away. But I'm saying, a lot of the times we go dump at Goodwill. We talking about our community, you know what I'm saying? Let's take those clothes that's too small. Let's take that sofa we don't want no more and see if we can find somebody in our community to help them. It'll take one less load. It's one less thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's operate on the one less principle. One less thing today in our community plaguing us than it was yesterday. And that's it. That's all I got. And stop apologizing to these people who don't deserve your damn apology or your energy. Fuck them. Excuse me, Candy. But I mean that with all due respect. Fuck them. It's time to stop worried about their feelings and worried about us and fixing us.
All right. Well, thank you, Nola and so the
Now, did we finish talking about Tia?
We didn't even touch Tia.
That's what I'm saying. I came to talk about Tia.
Oh goodness!
I'm mad with Tia. I'm mad with Tia.
Hey, Candace Lane, good to see you.
Hey, Candace Lane.
Hey, Candace.
So, Debonair, you can continue the Tia conversation on your channel.
You know she going to sleep.
I'm trying.
You have to try and push her a little bit longer if you can.
Yeah.
Baby, she done
But
already
was like,
gave us
baby,
140. She done
no,
already gave us
yeah.
144. You know you ain't getting no more than that 145 mark. Everything just about to cut off. You ain't even
But
gonna
no,
say
listen,
bye.
she was like, I'm gonna be up here longer than the hour, this is definitely longer than the hour. But I was like, we had a long conversation tonight.
Yeah,
So
because she have to
I
she have
stuck
to
here
plan. She
for
have
a long
to plan
time thinking
for
that we
these
had like a lot of time.
Yeah, she have to plan for these conversations when she ain't got to go to work in the morning because the Kyrie Irving situation was definitely going to lead into things about our community. And so when you get to talking about that, that's not going to be a 10-15 minute conversation.
It was an hour and 45-minute conversation.
Yeah, we
so I understand.
definitely need a part 2. I want us to watch the documentary.
I'm definitely going to watch this documentary.
I'm
They
gonna
got
watch
this
it
man,
too.
and I swear to God, if this documentary only have one little piece of sentence,
I'm gonna be pissed off.
whoo, child.
We'll see.
I literally came to talk about. I was like, let me log on late so we can talk about Tia because I know you were talking about this man. We still stuck here, but you know what though? To be honest, it was a really great conversation. To be honest, it was really a good
I
one.
enjoyed it.
I think that we all have 3 different points of views when it comes down to this. I'm gonna stress the fact from Black people that we do need to work together. Period. I'm never gonna stop that. I've been doing this for the last since 2009. So I'm never going to stop stressing the fact that a lot of our issues do come from us not being in sync to fight battles together because there's a lot of battles being fighted without each other. And we see the other races do it. And we need to figure that out.
All right. Well, I'm going to get off here. My daughter keeps coming.
Oh, wait. There was something else that you... No, I'm just playing.
Well, I do actually have one more thing. And then another thing with keeping in our communities and keeping our communities pleasant.
Keep us up here, Nola. Go ahead.
And keeping our communities pleasant. I'm going to let you go because I know the baby needs her mama, okay? Or his mom. I can't see the little baby, so don't...
That's her daughter.
It's a girl. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know she need her mama. I'ma just say this. In keeping with all of that and keeping our communities pleasant, that also mean not letting agents of chaos who pretend to be your friend come and let you drag you down the wrong path that you know you shouldn't be going off on, giving your haters something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that was good.
Catch.
Well,
because y'all had pissed me off.
I got it.
We're gonna talk about this behind the scenes.
But she was like, make sure you tell the kid shop. I said I need to talk to her too.
I sure did. I was like, cause y'all in trouble. But I love y'all. I'm done.
Let me play my outro and y'all hang out.
Oh, this is my channel, The Candy Shop.
I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story.